We are only halfway through this week, and we already have two new devastating polls that are not looking good for Donald Trump. And you already know his campaign is absolutely freaking out right now. In this video, we'll cover this new polling, and you won't believe just how bad it has gotten for Donald Trump. Now, I think we all knew that after the debate, Trump's rating would go down at least a little bit. But what we did not expect is just how bad things would get for Donald Trump. Firstly, the polling firm Seltzer & Company released polling data for the state of Iowa at the end of last week. This group is known as the most accurate predictor for the state of Iowa in presidential elections. Just look at what they have found. Likely voters in Iowa were asked if the general election were held today, for whom would you vote for? According to the poll, Donald Trump is only 4 points ahead of Kamala Harris. Now you may be wondering, why is this good news? He's in the lead by a decent margin. Well, that's because this lead is shrinking fast. Back in the summer when Joe Biden was still running, Trump was 18 points ahead. Kamala Harris gained 14 points on Donald Trump. And remember, this is Iowa, not generally considered a swing state. Kamala Harris is soaring in popularity across the country, even in red states now. And speaking of swing states, another top polling agency just released some numbers on some of those, and it only gets worse for Trump. Quinnipiac, one of the top polling agencies in the nation, just released post-debate numbers on northern swing states. Michigan now has Harris up by 5%. Wisconsin has dipped to just a 1-point lead, which is a bit close. The big news, however, is from Pennsylvania. Quinnipiac has Harris up by 6%. This is the worst poll for Trump yet in that state. But what makes this even more devastating is that many counties in Pennsylvania are beginning mail-in and absentee ballots this week. That means some of the earliest voting in the state is beginning during Trump's worst week in the polls yet. And you know he must be absolutely furious about this. Now, this poll does say Trump could win Wisconsin, but with him tanking in national polls and pulling funding from many swing states, things are not looking too good for him. How is he going to win Wisconsin and keep battling Harris in Nevada, Arizona, North Carolina, and Georgia? He probably just won't. That being said, we are still weeks away from the election and all of our votes matter. So to solidify a win for Kamala Harris, make sure you get out and vote this November.